Okay, we're on air. Welcome to the Node.js Community Build Working Group meeting for April 18th. So far, we have in attendance myself, Michael Dawson, Gibson Fainchuk, Jao Rice, Johan Bergstrom, Michael, and I think I'm going to get... Okay, thank you. And that's it so far. We have a relatively light agenda. In terms of things that were on the workgroup agenda. I did add one or two others for us to discuss. Are there any other things that people want to add into the agenda to go through today?
Just looking at it. Yeah, I just wanted to add the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. I don't know.
Right, okay. So let me
find... minor, but I like it.
Yeah, let me find the agenda. Okay, thumbs up. Yep, somebody's adding that in.
Just
Great.
having an issue for that, right? So we can, I don't know, like have something to refer to if someone says in 3 weeks' time, "Oh, what was that for?"
Oh yeah, okay.
Sure.
I'll do it.
Yeah, we can always capture our agreement in there. Okay. Right. So we might as well go through our standard flows. Might as well start with the stand-up. I worked on a few minor AIX issues, started looking at bringing ZOS machines into the build farm. We have some lined up. We already have ZOS support in libuv, so that'd be the first place I think we could start bringing the CI into using them. So I think Joe and Johan liked the we did for the Z-Linux machines. There's like a terms of service that we're just finalizing those, and then I'll send those out to you guys for an acknowledgement as well. I'm hoping that'll be in the next couple weeks. I also did some work to land the supported platform section in building.master for master VX staging and V4X staging. I think they're pretty much there. I think there's one change that was made in 4 that I need to submit a PR in 6, but otherwise we should be there. And I did create that issue for our initial cut of coverage areas, which is one of the things I thought we could spend some time working on today. So Joe's next.
Yeah, I fixed building V8 5.7 that landed on master on x86 and added the x86 to the Windows CI matrix. So currently we compile a binary for x86 and test it on our x64 machines. It's not a native x86 test, but should be close enough and at least tests the build. And I also added Ubuntu and OS X to the CI for Node.js core. Okay. Gibson?
Sorry, just a quick question. When you said you fixed building a V8 on 5.7, so it didn't build on 5.7 by default?
No, 5.7 landed on master, and since we only had x64 in CI, there was a build error for x8 that only showed on x86.
Okay.
This was because GIP V8 upstream uses GN and compiles with Ninja, and this only happened with GIP.
Okay, so yeah, it wasn't Windows in general, it's just x86. Got it. Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Gibson?
Yep. So we finally got AX running on SitGym with the RAM disk, RAM drive stuff. That's all working. There were a couple of issues after that, just cleaning up the Jenkins jobs. Been still taking forward the test npm stuff to try and get the npm test running in CI. They are running on Linux and Windows now, but there are some test failures, and I'm not sure if I assume that's not because of the test runner itself, but I kind of have to get it either clean or understand the issues before we can get that landed, I think. The other thing is Philip J's GitHub bot automatic running CI on, like, when you at it in a comment, is now working on SitGym. We've started using that, and that's pretty cool. So
does that work other places as well, or
not yet? We thought we'd use SitGym as like a test repo.
Okay, good.
Is before we add it to like the main Node.js node. But if there are any other things that aren't, Node core that would want to use it, it should be pretty easy to enable.
Okay, now that's great, because somebody had mentioned that one other project like Ruby or Python was using something like that.
Yeah, Rust. Well, I don't know what others, but Rust have one that does the testing and then it does the merging as well. So someone was talking about the other day. Yeah. Anyway, so basically looking into that stuff. Yeah, that's me.
Johan, you're next.
So yeah, me, Johan. Been pretty laxed actually for the last month or so, but I think my big ticket was just working with the downtime of Node.js org. So this is the second time in a month or so, a month and a half roughly, when we had issues with DigitalOcean. The first time we had rate limiting issues. We had the container we were running on where it was getting too much traffic, so the DDoS mitigation went active. This time around, they had problems with the disk storage. So we use block storage for our downloads directory because because we were having issues with the disk space for that VM. So we mounted it, and we were running into disk errors. So last time we had these issues, we were looking at, first of all, hosting all downloads via Cloudflare. So even if the backend was run responsive, we would serve what we had in cache. That's still the idea, but since then, they've also privately, like in a private beta, launched a load balancer. So what me and Rod has been looking at is pretty much using the unencrypted.nodejs.org, which we hosted at Joyent, as a mirror, because we mirror it already every 15 minutes. The idea is to have Cloudflare fail over to Joyent should we have issue with DigitalOcean. And in parallel with that, as Rod noted in his comment, yeah, we've also been looking at pulling all logs from Cloudflare, so we can get full information about download statistics, even if we don't get all the hits to the origins. And it's already in testing. We have an endpoint called lbtest.nodejs.org where we run this. It's nothing super fancy. It's pretty much a heartbeat, so it checks each pool for if it's responsive or not, and if it's flagged offline, it'll just switch pool. And we also get an email in the case of an event, so I'm thinking we should send it to our build group alias. I've also done some work with Jenkins. So Jenkins have had a fair amount of security vulnerabilities as of late. I think there's been 2 rounds the last month or so, mainly in third-party plugins, but the security, the type of security handling is very similar. So they send out a pre-announcement a week prior and then say, hey, when it hits, just be quick on the update buttons. So I just try to be around and just look through the release log and see if there's any plugins that affects us. And so far we've been pretty safe. I think the strategy we adopted of firewalling JLNP connections has been very successful. There's now a new protocol version of JNLP or JLNP, I never remember, but version 4 supports encryption between client and master, and that's definitely something we should be looking at adding. So all we have to do is essentially download a new slave.jar to the clients and do a restart, and it will auto-negotiate to protocol 4. Finally, I've done some work on the refactor. It's pretty dormant in its current state, mainly because of lack of time from my end, but it's still working well. It just needs a bit of exceptions depending on what hosts there are, and then you have 2 big gaps, which is Windows and AIX support, which we need to look at. But other than that, I'd like more eyeballs and testing on it. That's me.
Okay, Michael.
Yep, Michele. So I've been working on adding the V8 test to the Windows build. Unfortunately, I haven't succeeded yet on having it working, but I've been in contact with the V8 team. I'm still waiting a few answers about how to do it, and then I'll be going on and working on that. Yeah,
That
that's
would be for
been-
the, like, we have the one that tests the V8 tests in the node shape.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, great.
that's already included in the Linux part.
Yep.
It's missing for the Windows one, so I'm working on that and adding there.
Yeah, no, that would be good.
Yeah, so working on that and waiting for an answer from the V8 team. So yeah, mainly working on that.
Okay.
I don't know if you, Johan, you have time to to have a look at my PR on your refactor branch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I looked at it. I feel like I want Joao to have a look as well.
Yeah,
sorry, I have it in my queue, but I haven't been able to look at it yet.
yeah, no worries. Just wanted to know.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. So I think moving on to our agenda now.
Sorry, Michael. I think Kylie joined us
Okay.
in the Hangout. I'm not sure if the mic is working. No.
Okay. Well, maybe Kyle, if you do get connected and can just let us know and we can come back to you. Okay. So moving on to the standard agenda. So issue 667, request to join the Jenkins admin team. So this was a request from Gibson to have him added to the Jenkins admin. I +1 since it would certainly let him do some of the work I've done in terms of adding CI jobs for some of the other modules and stuff like that. I see Johan and Zhao both +1. Any concerns? If not, we should probably consider that closed, right?
Yep, get him in.
Okay. Okay, I'll go ahead. So I'm just going to put a note. Agreed in meeting today. I'll go ahead and add him. Sounds good.
Sweet. Cheers.
Okay. Adding Node.js Foundation user to NPM modules managed by the build team. So this is just one where we've created a Node.js Foundation user in NPM. We've added that user to a number of the modules. But I think that, Johan, you and Rod had mentioned that there's a few other ones that the build team maintains.
Yeah, so we have a few related to how we do releases and a few other checks. It's already in our repo. They should probably just be split out and versioned properly. So
do we publish them to NPM or?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're just checked into our repo. If you check the www or stuff we have as part of the Node.js.org.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do we want to publish them to NPM? I mean, is there a reason to do that?
I see it as there's no real reason not to, actually. So
okay,
we probably should.
So what I'm going to say though is that, it turns out the when we do we'll add in terms of closing out, adding them to existing ones, it doesn't really apply because they're not published there anyway. Okay.
I guess one concern I just wanted to add is that if we, for instance, have a script that generates a new release, which we have, it basically generates the SHA sums. I mean, there might be a security concern as whether who has access to the npm repo in terms of, because we have a different ACL for build specifically for this reason, so it might make sense to actually not put it in there.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be a reason we wouldn't publish it to npm.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, or at least share it in terms of who gets to publish.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the Node.js Foundation user wasn't meant to do publishes. It was just meant to be a backup, so that if
Oh, okay. I thought it was meant to be some kind of group ACL as well, but if it's just about collecting everything we do, then it sounds good to me.
Yeah, no, at this point, it was strictly, we're going to ask anybody who's working in the work groups and has modules to add that user, but we don't require them to use it in publishing. It's just like if that group becomes dormant, one of us in build can sort of dig out that user ID, log in, and add whoever the new people are.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Joe, do you mean the nightly builder and the dist indexer?
yeah, and there's probably something else in there I've forgotten as well.
At least those two are published to npm.
They are, yeah. Oh, you're right. They might actually be. So there you go.
Okay, so
we
which
should
two
just
are
move them then.
which two are they?
Dist indexer.
Dist indexer.
Node.js dist indexer and the Node.js nightly builder. I can paste links.
Yeah, you're right. I'm even the collaborator of it.
Who are
I
the
remember I fixed
collaborators?
something at some point, but I didn't do the publishing. I think it was Rod. Okay, I'll stay quiet. Okay.
So it's who are collaborators on those ones?
It's me and Rod
Okay.
on the indexer at least, and the other one, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
What
well,
was
there
the
you
other
go.
one for the minutes again? It was the dist indexer and what was the other module, Joe?
Nightly build.
Nightly build. Okay. So I don't know if Johan, if you could just while we speak actually go and add that user, because it would be good to just let me close out on that issue.
Okay, I'll have a look.
Okay. The next issue was, okay, so I'm just going to put down Johan to add node. Okay, perfect. Create matrix coverage areas for the build team. So we created a base set, and I thought we might spend, since we have a fairly light agenda, a little bit of time today just discussing that set and figuring out, what next steps might be. So I see,
Sure.
Johan, you had a few extra ones. I'm just going to move those, copy those into the list at the beginning, just so that we have a full list.
Sorry, Michael, which issue are you talking about?
It is issue 662.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me check. I'm just checking the infra machines we have. It might be something else in there. The secrets repository was in there.
So yeah, I just updated to add in the ones that you had.
Do we have the GitHub bot in there?
I do not think that that's there, so that's good. I'll add that one in.
And then for Jenkins, we have both the release and the public. So if that's different, I don't know. From an access point of view, it is.
It's certainly, yeah. So if, I think we should list it out. So I think we should have Jenkins infrastructure twice or both of them twice.
Perhaps just call one for release and one for test.
Okay.
This jobs is different than infra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we have who has access to Google for mail management. We delegate mail for Node.js org. IO.js we delegate to. Is that the thing we do through Rackspace? Mailgun, right?
Right. I think mail management
Yeah,
is one
so
that
we
I've
do
added in.
Yeah.
Okay, because yeah.
Oh, is mail in there? I can see it.
No, I'm adding it.
Oh, okay.
It is now at the bottom.
We should probably walk through all the stuff we have access to through the shared secrets stuff as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because that's...
So let's see. I don't know if it's a category, but like having access to all the to all, like DigitalOcean, Rackspace, Azure, and so on and so forth.
Right, I guess so. That's even slightly, yeah, because we haven't broken them up by like ARM test workers, Unix test workers. But
Yeah.
it's like, do we break those up into be more specific, or have like a separate category, right?
I guess like it boils down to the infra group and its responsibilities. And in there, I mean, there's obviously the more specific ones, such as backup routines or backup machine. And then there's the general like virtual machine management, I guess. You could call it, where like if we need to add a new virtual machine, me or
Right,
Rod
yeah,
or
okay.
Joao would log in and create it and probably template it and set it up.
Yeah, like, okay, so there's like, I'm going to write soft layer, there's DigitalOcean.
Yeah,
Yes.
like virtual machine management. I don't know, like the VM, test VM management perhaps, or just virtual machine management in general. I mean, you also get the emails from IBM in terms of maintenance, for instance.
Yeah. I guess the only question is like, if we're going to, right now, different people might have access to different infrastructures, right?
Yeah.
If we either should break it down so we can sort of show who has access to which ones, or leave it as one and maybe make it that if you get access to one, you get access to them all.
Yeah, but having access doesn't necessarily mean you're responsible.
No.
And this was about the bus factor, right? Or is it just access?
No, it's basically the bus factor. Like, do we have enough coverage from all the different areas so that you can actually help out, right?
Yeah.
I think listing them out separately, because it might be that you call on somebody different to help if it's a different one, right?
I think it's pretty homogeneous in terms of who does what. They're pretty similar. You know, you click and you choose Fedora 24, and then you hit deploy.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess the differentiator would be the once we move to PPC and yeah, help me out here.
Yeah,
that
Linux One,
Linux One.
PPC,
Yeah, Linux One,
ARM, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and ARM is obviously specific, but then we already have that flagged here. Oh yeah, you have said Linux as well. Yeah, so I guess I would call them similar, but there's one in here we should put up. But that's like because we have the identity certification management through Apple.
Okay.
And that's mostly Rod doing it, but I have access as well. And then we have Cloudflare.
Okay.
And Cloudflare is different because we use it as a CDN.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't think you're very active there, Joao, right? No. Yeah.
Sorry, who were you?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Joao, I mean, you have access to it, like, but via password, but I don't think you're very active there, right?
No, I never used it.
No. And I think that would be a good example of, bus factor.
Right.
It, because even if we have downtime or me or Rod isn't available, it would still take Joao. We shouldn't expect him to fix it instantly.
No, yeah, like some handover would be good in advance kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. What else have we got?
Those would be the specific ones we have in here, at least.
So that's a pretty good start. I mean, I guess the next one might be to list out the people we have in those categories. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, we could probably, everyone that is involved could just go in there and add their name to what they feel that they touch.
Yep.
And then we can reduce it or add to it as needed.
Yeah, we can basically say, so where's the best place to maintain this, do we think? Like, is it, I mean, it's probably good to edit in the issue. Maybe we can just leave it here for now. Eventually, maybe it goes into a doc in the doc section of the repo.
You can put that in the wiki section once, I mean, everything is crystallized in the issue.
Yeah,
Then
okay, the
moving
wiki
it
makes sense
into a
too,
wiki.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think you get like editing locks if you edit an issue. So we can put it in like HackMD or Google, even Docs Google we could use, and then just move it back once it slows down.
Yeah.
Or a wiki, doesn't matter, I guess.
Right, yeah. Do we want to put a Google Doc to put that might make sense. People, is that easier for people than editing here?
I don't mind either. Doesn't
I
matter.
don't really care either.
Me
Whatever's
too.
fastest.
Yeah.
Why don't we just leave it in the issue now until it's a problem? So I'd
Okay,
say,
I'll-
yeah, if everybody take the action to add in, where you think you can cover.
Is
And then
this
we
where
can
you
go from
think
there.
you can cover or where you are covering?
Well, I think it should be where we are covering now.
Yes.
And
Let's
then
make
we
it
can
more
go
clear.
from there to like, okay, do more people want to get involved? And
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense to first map and then take actions.
okay.
Perhaps we should change the format a bit. The description should be a bit more clear, but like you can make a sub list under each list item saying, currently working with it or current, and then, I want in kind of style. So
Right. So current. So if I just I'm going to make a currently active volunteering. About that. Need any more categories?
no, I think that's fine. Because we can each create a list item under each, and just if we want to add a note specific to that person, we can just like write something, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be a long list, but I think it's at least, I think verbosity helps us here.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. And anyway, it'll be good. We can, next time we get together, we can then start to look at that list and. Okay. Because I suspect some of them are going to be. Anyway, we'll see the list and then go from there. Sounds good. Okay. Back to the agenda. Okay, I'm just taking some notes. We discussed. Added.
It might make more sense to do it as a table rather than if we're going to start having more columns.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, training up or whatever, if people start having more like categories. But anyway, we can do that later, right?
Yeah. Okay. So that's that guy. That guy. So next, transfer Jenkins OAuth application to Node.js 687. I'm just opening.
Yeah, I just saw that earlier. Basically, when you click login in Jenkins or the test Jenkins, the application is still owned by Rod, and which is fine. But maybe we should have it like owned by Node.js, so it says, the Node.js app is trying to authorize against your account.
Yeah,
just wonder if anyone had any reason not to do it, or if not, then I guess we can just ask Rod to do it when he gets a moment.
And transferring is painless, or do I change something in the CI?
As far as I know, so I talked to George, who just did it for a different project. He said it's just a setting Rod can go into like the settings in the app and just say transfer it to someone else.
Okay.
And it should keep working.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
okay, so all the existing authorizations will still be in play.
yeah, like the whole app, everything about the app stays the same. It's just moves. Who owns it moves, so you get a different thing. That's what I heard. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out, right?
So when you say transfer to the Node.js.org, okay, so that's the Node.js org within GitHub, right?
Yes. So,
That's a GitHub.
the
Yeah,
domain's
okay,
owned
right.
by, GitHub RBAG. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. All right. I'll just put a comment in there saying that no one knew of any obvious reason why we shouldn't do it. So I guess we'll go ahead.
Does that give, like, does that mean anybody who's in the Node.js org gets that privilege?
The privilege to edit the app, or
Well,
I think
to access this, you're giving it permission to access your account.
it only has read access to your personal data and organizations and teams. But you're right, that still might be.
I'm just wondering if we're somehow broadening. Like right now, Rod has
Yeah.
access, right? But it may be that since there's a number of us who are part of the like org owners in Node.js, it might mean that we all now have access to that data.
Yeah, that's correct. But also, I think there's audit logs for changing information in apps, changing settings in most things in GitHub. So if changes were made, we would probably see that if we were monitoring it.
Well, I think you said, didn't Gibson? You said it was read only anyway.
Yes, according to the screenshot I just put. It's quite hard to actually find out because you have to find someone who has never logged into the CI. But yes, it's read permissions on email addresses and organizations and teams, as far as I can see.
Right. So you could figure out a little bit more about potentially private information that isn't public about the people who say yes, right?
Yeah, but I guess when you say yes, Node.js org, you can see my account, you kind of know that the owners of that org will have access if they wanted to go in and kind of read your stuff. But
no, I think that still makes sense. I was just playing in my mind that we understood what would change there.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I'll put that in the comment.
Okay. But then the net is we'll just ask Rod to make the change.
Yep, unless if he thinks that's reasonable. Yeah, I think he has to do it.
Okay. Okay, just taking notes, and we'll ask her. Okay, so then in terms of the agenda, let's going back to that. Sorry. Thumbs up, thumbs down for meeting attendance status.
Yeah, I just added it right now. I just had the idea of I like this. I like the visibility it gives for people just to either say yes, I'm coming, or no, I'm not, instead of implied silence means no. Right, it kind of gives us a good check on who's active in the build group as well. I think I brought it up before that I think if any group, we should be more concerned about membership.
Yes.
Seeing how we have access to a broad range of stuff. So if we see someone being inactive over a long period of time, we should just perhaps ask how active they plan to be. So I guess I'm up for questioning soon.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But yeah, so you're basically what you're suggesting though is that we make sure that each of us actually like go and do that, like comment on our availability.
Yeah. So my suggestion was that if you know you're coming, just do a thumbs up, and if you're not coming, just do a thumbs down on the issue. And it actually came to me as well that we should just create a markdown template for the build meeting issue, and just put a small note in there as well. So I can do a PR that puts that in there.
Okay. It seems reasonable to me. I don't know if anybody else has any comments.
Yep, thumbs up to that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So in terms of the notes.
Let's check YouTube as well before we head out, if there's any questions. Or let me check IRC. Empty. Okay. And YouTube.
Yeah, just if you're listening on YouTube and have a question, we'll give you a couple minutes to come in and ask one. You see, I'm checking the Hangout to see if it will tell me. I'm pretty sure it will. How many? Oh.
Yeah, you can either write in the comments or you can just join us on IRC, either Node Dev or Node Build if you have any questions. I think the link from our issue is actually not pointing to the YouTube stream. It's pointing to the issue itself.
Oh, really? Okay, I may have cut it. No, this is the wrong one. That would have been my bad. Okay, I'm just going to try and see if there's anybody actually watching, because I guess there might be 0 if that's the case.
Also on that, the events page points to youtube.com/myliveevents. Is that seems like
sorry, go ahead.
that seems like it should be, that will just point to the current users. So like if you were logged in as Node.js, then it would point to your live events, right?
If you're, yeah, I do that so that when I click that link, I can easily start the Hangout.
Oh, okay. So that's not just for, yeah.
There's 11 peak concurrent viewers, so.
Wow. Well, we have a comment, but it doesn't seem related. He's just saying hi. So.
Okay. Okay, so maybe at this point we can, if there's no questions, we might as well close off for today.
Yeah, before we leave, to anybody listening, we're super happy to have new people join us. If you're interested in helping us with, things like running our website or helping us improve our infrastructure from testing or anything, join our RSC channel on Freenode, node-build, or just ping us on GitHub, and let's take it from there. We're always looking for new people.
And I will add the YouTube link just so we have at least that for the minutes.
Yeah, speaking of, talking about onboarding, I'll just quickly say that I feel like it's quite a steep on-ramp at the beginning, right? You kind of have to know quite a lot to get involved. You have to kind of know that the Build work group exists, and I don't know, maybe there's some kind of, not outreach, but the equivalent of the new contributor stuff that we could do to kind of get people involved on a more gradual scale.
Yeah, I guess it's worth mentioning that probably a few of us, me excluded, will go to Berlin at the meetup. So if you're keen, you should probably ping us there and ask us whatever questions you have, and just let us know you're keen on getting involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be there. And I think Gibson's going to be there as well. So yeah.
I also be there.
Great.
Also be there. So
maybe we should have a build get together, if nothing else.
That was what I was going to ask. So does it make sense to arrange, because I've seen that there are already slots allocated for different working groups. Maybe they allocate even a small one, just to make sure that if there is anyone interested, you can.
I like that idea. I mean, I think it's good to give a time where people could come and see what's, ask questions, whatever. We might be able to get some more people involved. And even if it just ends up being us, we could spend a little bit of time, thinking about some of the issues or related stuff. So yeah, no, if you want to add that in, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah, I'll add it.
Just blocking out like an hour to just sit down and go through some of the stuff we need to do would be great.
Do you think an hour is enough?
I might make it a couple hours.
Yeah, just asking.
I can join in from remote if I'll do it, but I don't know how much that helps. But I can just sit in a corner somewhere. Like, give me one of those iPad bots.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll set up one of our laptops and we'll all be able to see that. That should work.
Put you on the main screen. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, depending on how busy the schedule is. Like, I would say if the schedule's not too busy, we can take a bigger slot. But we should fit at least an hour or two in.
So let's say that I'll block 2 hours at least, and then I'll point you to the schedule so we can discuss it in an issue.
Good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Any other things? Nope. Okay. We'll call it a meeting then. Nice talking to you guys all. We'll talk again in 3 weeks.
See y'all.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Cheers.